Hello and welcome back to the Highway to Happiness channel, where we never talk about the latest gadgets, gizmos, and garments that we've got to have in order to temporarily make ourselves happy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, for 4 easy payments of liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing, you too can benefit from the self-improvement content you will find here, because here we're gonna go deeper. We're going to ditch the facade. We're going to talk about what actually keeps us from being happy, and more importantly, what we can do about it. We'll be philosophizing. We'll be analyzing personal philosophies in order to see if and how we are the ones standing in our own way, and more importantly, how to remove those roadblocks in order to let more happiness into our lives. So, are you ready to continue our journey? I certainly hope so. Sit down, strap in, buckle up, close your door, and let's take a giant leap further down the road. Let's learn, let's grow, let's roll. This is Helpful Hints Episode 2, How to Escape Repetitive Behavior. Now, first of all, that is a big claim, right? So let me just preface it by saying that there is more to eliminating unwanted repetitive behavior than what we're going to talk about here. Things that I will address, further along in this channel, but things like the case of mistaken identity, limiting beliefs, and comfort zone discomforts. But the biggest cause to repetitive behavior sticking around is something completely hidden from us. Unlike the others that can be addressed with self-awareness, investigation, and reversal, this one can be completely overlooked, even with those practices. So how do we even know that there's something else there? Well, the answer to that question is that once in a while, life throws a big curveball at us, and sometimes that curveball is so difficult to handle that it forces us to open up because we just can't hold it in anymore. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about repressed emotions. I recently added a tribute video to my Defeating Depression playlist about my dog that passed away last month and how to deal with a loss. And I was reminded today that showing emotion as a man can be perceived as weakness, and I wanted to address that because I used to think that way too. So I believe that repressed emotions are the number one reason as to why repetitive behavior persists, simply because they're repressed. We don't even know that they want to get out, but we do get some clues. If, for example, you have anger issues, or you have a short fuse and you snap at people, even addictions oftentimes stem from repressed emotions. Now, why is that? Because we're coping with things that we haven't yet learned how to properly process. Now, let me pause here and say that I am not a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, or counselor. I don't have a degree in any of these fields. However, what I do have is the knowledge accumulated from solving a problem that no psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, or counselor that I saw could solve. For more on that, you can go to the first videos on the channel or go to the Building the On-Ramp playlist. So, how about we judge the content instead of the credentials? There's a thought for you. Now, it's easy to think that showing emotion as a man can be seen as a weakness, but that isn't always the case. If, for example, you let your emotions completely control you and bring you down, well, then yes, that doesn't exactly show strength. However, if you can express those emotions and quickly put them behind you, then that's a huge strength to have. As men, we are taught to hold back our naturally occurring emotions, but what that actually does is it separates us from what we should otherwise be naturally feeling, and it makes us colder, it makes us seem heartless at times, it makes us less sensitive to other people's feelings, and we lose our ability to feel empathy because we're simply blocking it. But we're not drones, right? We're not robots. We're human beings. And emotions are just part of the deal. They're just part of the equation. Holding them in doesn't even make them go away. They're still there waiting to get out. And instead, they manifest in all sorts of ways that cause us nothing but problems. So it's okay to feel. It's even okay to cry sometimes when those feelings need to be let out. But here's the best part though. When you do that, when you let those things go, that process is transformational. Okay, I cannot overstate this. When you do this, you immediately feel better. There's no waiting period, nothing else to do. You just feel better once those feelings pass. You will feel lighter, clearer, less weighed down by your thoughts. It is a critical part of the process of eliminating repetitive behavior because once you do, the feelings that were causing the same cyclical behavior are no longer there, and you become free to create new, healthier behaviors in their place. I was on a call today with a client, and he reminded me of how our experience going through school sometimes can mess us up a little bit. You see, until we have a reason to be apprehensive, we're not. We're open. Until we have an experience, like for instance, defending or befriending someone at school that is unpopular, someone that gets made fun of, maybe even bullied, out of our natural sense of compassion, well, what usually happens after that, I'm sure you can probably guess, is that we get bullied too. We get made fun of, and we essentially get punished for doing what we felt was the right thing to do. And then what happens after that? Well, we shut down because nobody wants to be bullied. Nobody wants to be made fun of, especially when we're still young and insecure with who we are. That insecurity causes us to change our behavior. And unless we go back and re-examine that event, once we become more secure people, that behavior persists. Well, how do you know what to look for? I mean, you can't just revisit everything that's ever happened to you, right? I mean, maybe you can. I certainly can't. But upon doing some reflecting, we can think back to those events because they stay with us. They are attached to the repetitive behavior. They are like mini traumas that are imprinted in our mind and don't go away until we go back and re-examine them from a more mature and stable perspective. So take some time, if you need to, examine what repetitive behaviors you experience that you would like to get rid of, and think back to when you first felt this way. What happened? What did you mistakenly conclude about yourself? And how would you approach it now that you're older and more secure with who you are? It may require letting go of some emotion. Not gonna lie. And again, that's where you don't want to hold it in, right? You want to let it out. That's why it's coming up for you, because it wants to be let out. Don't be afraid of being emotional. If someone judges you for it, well, then you need to find a better friend to confide in, because what that shows is that they are still in a very emotionally immature place. And being around people like that doesn't help you grow. So, food for thought. Okay, I hope that was helpful. For more information on how to process those emotions, go back and watch episode 2 in my Defeating Depression playlist. And if you'd like to talk, please use the link down in the description. Book a time with me. I would love to help you escape your repetitive behavior. Don't forget to give YouTube the warm and fuzzies. You know what to do, and most importantly, please share this video with someone that you think could benefit from the content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you at the next bump in the road.